Sawasdee krap and welcome to Thailand News Today. Maybe you're in the middle of a 4-day long weekend. It's another public holiday here in Thailand today. It's actually the substitute holiday for King Bhumibol Adulyadej, whose birthday was last weekend, so they made a 4-day long weekend out of it. And let me tell you, just walking around Bangkok today, it's deserted. Everybody's headed out of town. Anyway, we hope you're having a good day today and a good weekend ahead. We'll be back again on Monday, but let's get stuck into today's main news stories. After the Prime Minister's told officials to relax some of the restrictions for people trying to get into Thailand at the moment, a new 45-day visa is being discussed and will get to Cabinet next week. The 15 days added on to the tourist visa exemption is intended to make up for the 2-week quarantine required for those entering the country at the moment. Officials hope the scheme will lure more foreign visitors. At the moment, foreign tourists can only enter Thailand under the pre-issued 60-day tourist visa or the new special tourist visa. That one allows a 90-day stay that can be extended twice, adding up to around 9 months in total. The 45-day visa exemption would apply to 56 countries and territories that are currently under the 30-day visa exemption scheme. Foreigners can also re-enter Thailand under a handful of existing visas. As usual, we'd urge anyone thinking of visiting Thailand at this time to contact their local embassy. And we do understand there's been a lot of difficulty at this time and can only suggest that you persist. Thai Airways was going to restart flights from Chiang Mai and Phuket into Bangkok on Christmas Day, but they've pushed that date back at least a week because of some of the latest COVID-19 cases up in the north. Now the Thai Airways flights from Bangkok will take off on January the 1st, but if the virus continues to be an issue in the north, the airline might decide to delay the flights again. At least 17 Thais tested positive for COVID-19 after illegally entering Thailand from Myanmar's border district. They evaded the mandatory quarantine and some travelled to Bangkok, Chiang Mai and other provinces before testing positive. Things haven't been easy for Thai Airways this year. Along with being buried in a debt of nearly 300 billion baht, more than 20 people are currently under investigation for being involved in systemic corruption and mismanagement at the airline. Prodemocracy protesters rallied in front of the United Nations in Bangkok yesterday in support of some of their fellow activists who have recently been arrested for alleged transgressions against the country's lèse majesté laws. The law carries prison sentences from 3 to 15 years for insulting or defamatory statements about the Thai monarchy. Activists say the law violates human rights. Yesterday was Constitution Day in Thailand. The current constitution just one of the things the protesters are rallying for change. After a large-scale manhunt, police and the military in the south have arrested 4 people over the shooting of a policeman last week in Pattani. The police officer was riding his motorcycle when he was shot by a pillion rider on another motorbike. The rider, dressed in women's clothing and wearing a headscarf, pulled out an M16 assault rifle. When the officer fell, the attacker got off the bike and shot the officer point blank with a 9mm handgun before stealing the officer's pistol and fleeing the scene. Police used surveillance camera footage in the area to track down the suspects. US singer Cher has taken to Twitter to expose the plight of a gorilla, Bua Noi, who's been living above a shopping centre in Bangkok for 30 years. With the gorilla's mate having died several years ago, she is Thailand's only gorilla. Bua Noi, living at the Pattani Zoo on the top floor of a Bangkok shopping mall, has captured the singer's attention. The zoo's been in operation since the late 1980s and is home to various species of monkey, reptiles and birds over 2 floors. It's been condemned by animal welfare activists and others as completely unfit for purpose. Goodness, sure, she must be about 180. Anyway, finally we'd like to head down to Phuket and the Kata Rocks Superyacht Rendezvous, which despite all the problems in Phuket has returned for another year. The event, held at the Kata Rocks Resort on the headland at Kata Beach, was still able to attract some of the region's biggest boats for the invitation-only event. It's open to both sailing and motor yachts measuring over 24 metres in length, visiting or based in Phuket, and is part of the larger project to promote Phuket as a destination for visiting super yachts and crews throughout the year to enjoy the island, its marinas and the magnificent scenery around the Andaman Sea coastline. The event kicked off yesterday and runs through until the end of tomorrow. And finally, thank you for all the kind comments yesterday directed to Jet. He'll be returning for about 2 days a week on Thailand News Today, plus some other projects, and you'll start seeing those next week. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching us today. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you on Monday.